Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to Mornings with 60 and Me. Today is September the 29th. It's a Thursday. So welcome to a new day. I am drinking my cup of coffee this morning, and I have a reason for that. It's because today is National Coffee Day in the United States. So if you love coffee and you live near a Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme, they are giving away free coffee today with their donuts. And I think Starbucks is doing something as well. They're doing planting a tree for every particular kind of Mexican coffee blend that they're serving today. So it's National Coffee Day in the States. And so go and have a celebration of coffee. Give it its moment. Now, I want to first of all thank all the women that gave us comments yesterday about the question of style. I asked you yesterday 2 or 3 words to describe your personal style. It was really wonderful to see all the amazing answers. Very interesting. But there were some words that kind of kept repeating. And I think if we can describe the women in our community, and also here on Mornings with 60 and Me, these are the 5 words that kept kind of circling around and repeating themselves. They were classic, comfortable, bohemian, eclectic, and colorful. Those were the 5 that I thought really kept appearing. And so that's us. That's what we are. That's how we describe ourselves. And I hope you found that a fun exercise. A lot of people said it was a tough question and they had to ask friends and family to help them with it. But those are the 5 that describe us, our 60 and Me community. Now, I'm going to give you a few bits of news update and some stories at the end, like I do, to give us a positive start to the day. And I want to go back to the Malaysian Flight 17 that was downed in Ukraine, July 2014. Over 2 years ago. There's been a report put together, and it pretty definitively, according to them, shows that the jet was shot down by a Russian missile that was brought into the Ukraine and fired from a rebel-based town in the Ukraine. And so this is what the conclusion they've come to. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussion about it, and the Russians have their opinions, I'm sure, of what happened. It's a very tragic event. 298 people were killed. It was going from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur, so they were mostly Dutch citizens. So sad, but that's the report that's come out, and hopefully that will clarify, and we'll see what happens going forward. Now, the U.S. In Congress has actually vetoed the legislation they've rejected the president's veto of legislation that would have allowed people, relatives of those killed in the 9/11 attack, to sue the Saudi Arabian government. So President Obama had vetoed this legislation. Congress has overruled it. This is the first time they have done this in his reign as president, and they've also, now given people the opportunity to sue the Saudi Arabia government for their loss. So that's a kind of interesting story. He's got 4 months left in his presidency, so there's not very much that can be done now. This is probably going to continue, but we'll see what the conversation, how it continues. On a positive note as well from the Congress United States, they did just vote to fund the response to the Zika virus in the United States, to give additional help to places that needed it. This was quite an important issue, because if it had not been passed, the Congress would have had to have been delayed. I mean, they would have had to have shut down the government just weeks before the election. So that was an important one to get through. Now, going abroad in Iraq, the United States and Iraq are preparing for the assault on Mosul, which is a city in Iraq currently under the control of the Islamic State, the ISIS army, and they are working together. Now, and the United States has just announced they're going to send another 500 troops to assist. They're going to help, they say, with logistical issues, training, and will not be on the front line. There's already about 4,500 troops in Iraq from the United States, and this is going to add 500 more. So we've talked about this before. This is going to be a big fight, and I'm sure it's probably going to happen fairly soon. They want to get Mosul back. And just to mention very quickly, Syrian situation is escalating. If it could escalate any more than it already has. Yesterday, two hospitals, two of the largest hospitals in Aleppo were bombed. Now, this is, of course, a war crime to hit a medical facility, and this is all going to have to play out after this is settled. But this is all part of a final ground assault that the Syrian and Syrian government is pushing towards, towards Aleppo to gain control of the whole city. Very, very sad and tragic. And I've got a really nice story that I'm going to share with you tomorrow to put that whole thing in perspective. Just stay tuned for that tomorrow. Now, in Algiers, one final story. All the oil-producing nations, well, 14 of them anyway, got together yesterday, kind of an informal meeting, to talk about what they're going to do when OPEC, which is oil production countries, meets later in November, I believe it is. And they are concerned, like a lot of the world is, that for the last 2 years, there's been overproduction of oil. This means that there's been too much oil in the market, and that's brought the prices down. Now, this is great, of course, if you have a car and you want to buy cheap oil, gas, but for the rest of the world and who are producing oil, it's costing them a lot of money, and their economies are being affected. So they're going to put some proposals together to decrease the production of oil, which will bring the prices up, which will then and hopefully balance the economies in these countries. So these are the OPEC countries plus Russia who produce oil for the rest of the world. That's the story there. Now, just to change gears a little bit and talk to you about something that we've discussed it before, but I just thought this article kind of covered it in a way that was a little different, and I won't spend a lot of time on this because, truthfully, we all know this. You know every single one of these points I'm going to mention, but it's by a woman called Liz Weston, and she writes for a funky site called Nerd Wallet, but it's actually very good, and she summarized what your options are if you haven't really prepared a retirement plan, a financial plan. She calls the article a Hail Mary retirement plan if you haven't saved. And I'm looking at people in my mind and seeing you nodding your heads. A lot of us have done this or not been as entirely prepared as we should be. So here she says, we're rounding the corner to retirement. What's next if you haven't saved? Now, the first thing I'm going to say is not going to be pleasant, and you're not going to like it, and it's going to be hard. And that simply is, you've got to redefine retirement. You know, all of our lives, we've kind of thought, when we're 65 or 62 or whatever, we're going to retire and we're going to get to travel and we're going to get to do all these cool things we didn't do when we were working. But if you didn't save, you've got to redefine retirement. And it's going to be hard because it means that you're going to have to work. And if you don't want to work, you're going to have to live within your means. And I know this sounds really harsh, but it's true. And everything else I say now from this point on in the article kind of depends on you being at peace with that. It's going to make it hard, but you're going to have to own your situation and be responsible and deal with it. And so the second thing she talks about is delaying Social Security. Now, this is an obvious one. People have written a lot about this. The longer you wait for your Social Security benefits to kick in the United States, this is, the longer, the less money you'll get. You know, it works out about if you go at 62, I think you earn on average $1,500 a month, and then it goes up every year that you wait, and if you keep going, it'll go up to about $2,600 a month if you wait till 70. Third thing, or the next thing, is to tap the value in your house. Now, if you have a house and you have equity in your home, this is one thing to do. You can downsize to a smaller place. This gives you a little bit of extra money, hopefully, to pay off that mortgage and, cut one big expense in your life. If you can get a lump sum, that's even better, but that helps you for savings. Now, the other option, of course, is to get consider a reverse mortgage. Now, we've talked about this. We've written a couple of articles actually this week about it, and it's one thing to consider. There's pros and cons, but it's an option. The next thing she suggests is to turn to your kids. Now, this is one that I know a lot of you will have trouble with. But the article says that when they asked in a survey young people whether this was something they would feel was okay, It was 3 out of 10 said yes, it's okay. I get it. I can understand how it would help. But when you ask the parents, 9 out of 10 said that they would never do it. It would just be so embarrassing, so, just something they wouldn't want to do. That it is an option. We're talking options. The next one is to explore public benefits. Now, of course, subsidized housing, food benefits, lower cost utilities, these are available in all parts of the world. You just have to swallow your pride and ask for them. And this is part of, I think, the thing about retirement is we have to stop being worried about what other people think, how we're going to be viewed, and just go for it. Next thing, of course, is to re-examine your debt. If you've got credit cards, medical bills, things that personal loans, if they're really heavy, you really need help. Go to a debt relief organization, get some ideas. And I guess the bottom line is that bankruptcy is an option. And if you're really that much in debt, then you need to do something about it. Finally, number 7 is to save. And she says, save, save, save. We've talked about this a lot. There's anything you can do to give yourself a little bit of extra money every month. That's the best way to do it. So that's retirement without money. And I know a lot of you are dealing with that. So I want to be constructive and positive, but it's not an easy road. Now, we know that today is National Coffee Day, but I couldn't resist doing a little article here on tea because I love tea, and a lot of us do. In fact, it's the most drunk liquid, other than water. More people drink tea. So this is an article that we'll give you the link to, but I'll run through them real quickly. These are the ones that are supposed to be great for your health and for losing weight. Now, I say losing weight, but it's really feeling good, and it's taking the pressure off your legs. It's just feeling, the weight puts on extra pressure on your body. So that's the reason, not for getting skinny and losing 100 pounds. Anyway, here we go with the teas. First of all, green tea, most popular, and it's also labeled the healthiest. It's loaded with antioxidants. It burns fat, apparently, and can block the absorption of carbohydrates. Green tea. Oolong is one of my favorites. I love oolong. It's kind of a green-black combination, but apparently it's also full of lots of great antioxidants, and it can also strengthen your teeth. Add a little honey because it sometimes can be a little bitter, but oolong's a great tea. Next one, peppermint. Now, peppermint is great. It will awaken your senses, I'm told, and gets you kind of moving, so that helps to burn calories too. But it's got very low calories, 2 calories per serving, and it's really good for digestion as well. Ginger's next. I love ginger. Well, I have lemon ginger almost all the time. It's a natural appetite suppressant, apparently. It helps with digestion and that feeling of bloating that you sometimes get. It is really good if you eat too much food. Just want a little cup of ginger tea to soothe your stomach. It's good. Chinese have been using it for hundreds of years for colds and flu too. Rooibos. I tried rooibos a few weeks ago. It's very related. It helps with stress, which of course is a driver of eating too much food. It's caffeine free, and it's also packed with antioxidants. So rooibos. And finally, chamomile. Chamomile is a great tea for the evening. It serves as a diuretic, helps you to sleep. And of course, when you're sleeping, you can't eat, but it also just helps you to reduce it produces a hormone that helps to suppress hunger. Reduces anxiety too. I think I've mentioned that. So anyway, that's the teas of the day, fighting back against the coffee world. But anyway, I hope you enjoy that and try these teas. Mine today was, of course, coffee because of a special day, but here we are. Tea's good too. All right. So that's my news and views for today. Hope it was fun for you. Please tell a friend about 60andMe, Mornings with 60andMe, 60andme.com/mornings. That's where to send them. And thank you for being here. Honestly, it means the world to me to know that you're enjoying these news stories and just to catch up on what's happening in the world. So I would like to give you a gift today, or one person, another gift. So here we go. As I said yesterday, one of the characteristics of our community is bohemian nature. So I chose a scarf today that I think is very beautiful, and it's very bohemian. It's actually almost a sarong. It's not like a normal scarf. It's quite wide, so you could wear it as a sarong. And a lot of people say when you're packing for a trip, always pack a sarong because they are great for every possible need. So anyway, this is a beautiful scarf. I can give you the whole picture of it. And if you would like it, just leave your name or just leave a comment in the section below, and I will randomly choose a person. So if you love beautiful bohemian scarves, this is your day to perhaps get one as a gift, and just write about anything you like. But I do have a question, and it's a simple question today. I bet you can even guess what it is. I would like to know, are you a tea drinker or a coffee drinker? Just leave that comment in the section below and we can have a conversation. But I'd love to know that. What are you? Are you a coffee drinker or a tea drinker? Well, I hope you have a fantastic day, everyone. It's a Thursday, so just enjoy the day, do something special for yourself. Leave a little note below as to whether you're a coffee or tea drinker, and just share the conversation with others. Have a fabulous day and take good care. We'll see you again tomorrow on Here with Mornings with 60 and Me. Bye-bye for now.